Welcome to the Obesity Medicine Podcast with your host, Dr. Rentea, board certified in internal medicine and obesity medicine. Here, we talk about a path to metabolic health, and we have real conversations about chronic weight management and living a full life. Just a reminder, I am a physician, but I'm not your physician. So everything that's on this podcast is for informational purposes, but please go talk to your doctor about what's right for you. There is no medical advice being given on this podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. We are going to make today's episode super short and sweet. The reason being, first of all, love you for listening to this when you are likely on your break or you're at the end of the year here. Thank you for giving me a few minutes. So I want to talk today about what you could do instead of setting a New Year's resolution. I saw some horrible statistics about New Year's resolutions that about 6 out of every 10 people set it. So okay, more than 50%, but that only 8% are going to keep that resolution by the end of the year. Basically, by February, 90+% of people have already abandoned the goal. So knowing this, we know that setting a grand New Year's resolution, this grand proclamation, I'm going to go to the gym every single day this next year, not going to work. Now, it's very normal and natural for us to have reset points, right? We talk about this a lot on the podcast, whether it be if you have kids, maybe it's, hey, they're going back to school in September. It's like reset button, right? Summer, reset button, because, you have maybe they have some time off or you're doing different trips. This is very normal and natural. This reset phenomenon, maybe the beginning of every week, the beginning of every month, it's sort of a rebirth and a new period. I'm going to suggest to you that this next year, number one, if you haven't done it, friendly reminder for the 900th time, buy the book Atomic Habits. We'll make sure to link it in the show notes. By the way, as well, if you have not checked this out, we have a really good resource section now on my website. So it's Rentea Clinic, RENTEA clinic.com. If you click on resources, so there's the different courses that we have and things like that, but keep scrolling down that page and you'll see that on there are different books that I recommend. If you ask about the InBody, which one specifically is it? We have a lot of that linked. There's also a free resource if you want the entire guide for that. There's 10 different sections of things that I realize I'm getting asked about this all day long on social and the DMs, things like that. We put it all together in a PDF for you. So if that's something that you want, the link is right there all throughout. It'll say, hey, do you want the full guide? Here it is. But we have a lot of it linked right on the website if you don't want to get that full resource. But here's the thing that I'm wondering for you. Instead of setting New Year's resolutions that you know are garbage and do not happen, if you read the book Atomic Habits, he talks a lot about working on habits. Okay, so number one, I want to recommend that you work on building different systems and habits and not making grand proclamations. Now, part of this, when you're going to decide the things you want to do, because I think that's incredibly helpful, I am going to recommend that you follow in that book what he talks about, where he talks about making identity-based habits and not outcome-based habits. So outcome-based habits are when you say, I want to lose 50 pounds this year. Sounds amazing. It's like, wow, we're going to do that. Here's the unamazing part. It doesn't tell you who you need to be to achieve that. So when you set an identity-based habit, it is saying something like, I want to be someone who exercises consistently. I want to be someone who cares enough about their health that they are getting in nutrition that really matters. Someone that cares enough about building up muscle that I get enough protein consistently. I want to be someone that takes my health seriously this year. That means I'm going to see a doctor. That means I think working with a trainer could get me toward it, whatever it might be. But I want you to think about, who do I want to actually be this year? Why are we going to do this? Why are we going to care about this? Because identity-based habits are going to keep you congruent with who you are, and your chance of actually executing on it goes through the roof. So the chance of you sticking with it is going to be so much higher. The evidence shows us this from studies. I'm going to give you some prime examples. I'm someone that moves their body daily. This is really something that's like core to my identity. And so for me, walking, if I think about this past year, there are few days that have occurred. There was 1 week this year that I got really sick and I did not walk for a few days. But every other day, it's even if I'm tired the day after my GLP-1 injection, even if I'm pre-period, I've had days this year sometimes when I work from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m, literally solid. Well, that's a lie. There'll be maybe a 30-minute gap, but that's it. And I go, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to get through that day. I still did a walk. Why? Because it's my identity. I am someone who moves their body daily. Why? The other part of that identity, I know that it really helps me to regulate my physical body. It helps bring down cortisol levels. It helps regulate me emotionally. I'm a much better physician, mom, wife, everything. If I set the goal, I want to walk 10K steps a day, that's result-based. Now, it sounds like I'm splitting hairs, right? Because you're like, wait a minute, what? That's the same thing that you're talking about. No, I'm someone that moves their body regularly. Typically, I do 10K steps per day. If I'm amazing, I'll do more. So typically that will occur, but it's because it's my identity. This is who I am. I'm someone who moves her body daily. The way that I like doing it is with walking, and I do it because XYZ, the core identity of who I am, that habit, it very much so helps me get going. I am much more motivated to make it happen. When I have a result-based thing, it's very hard when I come at it from the approach of, I need to do 10K steps today. Often I'm like, well, I'm just not gonna have time for that. That's what happens for me when I have that. Also, I'll just give you my own examples. When I've set weight-based goals, it never pans out. Why? We don't have as much control over the net number going down that we think. And so if I'm focused on, well, how's my hydration? How's the protein? How's the movement? All these things, much better result. So what I want to challenge you is, can you set identity-based habits and not result-based? So who do you need to be to achieve this? Okay, thing number 2 that's in that book that's gold, 1% upgrades. 1% upgrades are small things that you can do. They do not feel painful at all. They are easy to, I use this word execute. They're easy to do. It's like, hey, if you normally get let's say you get 40 ounces of water daily, you do 2 20-ounce little containers during the day. All right, what's the upgrade? Can we do a little glass in the morning before you go to work and still do those 2 at work? Do we want to do more? Do we think that that's good? And maybe the area is we get more protein. You start to look at where's the little upgrade. It's not painful. It sticks within your motivational triad. Motivational triad is this concept of things cannot be painful. They need to be easy. They need to be pleasurable. That's how we're programmed as humans. If we don't do things that are in alignment with that, we don't stick with it. So you know how we just talked about it needs to be in our identity of who we are that we're going to do it, because that is very value-based. We're going to stick in that, right? And then if it's 1% upgrade, it's very easy. So listen to what we're creating. We're in alignment. This bike is going down the road, no problem. There's no rock in front of us. We've made it easy. We're going downhill. It's easy peasy. We're actually picking up steam. It's getting better and better. When you look at the graph, and I'll see if we can stick this. I'm sure I can find this online because all these graphics are all over online. When you do 1% upgrades at the end of the year, you have this exponential curve where it goes up in a positive direction. When you do 1% more negative daily, instantly you go down to 0. Not instantly. That's an exaggeration. Very quickly you go down in that direction. And so it is so powerful, these 1% upgrades. I used to, when I had a continuous membership with coaching in the past, the favorite things that we did is we would have 1% upgrade these challenge weeks. We would say, hey, what's your 1% upgrade? And then the next week we'd decide, do we want to keep it the same or do we want to change it? Those were always my favorite times. I want to leave you with this year, that we're not doing big, unrealistic things that you can't stick with. What is the identity of who you want to be? I want you to write down 3 sentences of I am someone who, fill in those 3 sentences. And then I want you to decide what are the 1% upgrades in those areas that I'm going to slowly work on. And I want you to come back to these early and often. I want you to write them down every day. I want you to look at it at the end of the day. I want you to check in. Did I do it? If you can't do the things, the goal is too big. And I'm dead serious when I say this. So let's say that I'm just going to take water, okay? You've been drinking 40 ounces of water daily and you want to go up to 50 and you can't get it done. And then you tell me, well, I don't think that's too, you're going to argue with me. I should be able to do 50. That's not too big. Well, guess what? If it's not happening, there's a reason. So what is it? Is it that you don't actually believe it matters? Is it that you're not prioritizing? Like all these other things are at the top of your leaderboard. Those things matter more. You're not prioritizing these things. The reality is, tell me what you're doing with your time and I'm going to know your priorities. So I want to just throw this out here. We're going to set a few things of who we want to be this year. And then we're going to do 1% upgrades to get there. I'm going to leave you with the quote that he says. It's the most powerful thing in the world. Every day you get to vote for the person that you want to be. Every single day you've got multiple decisions where you get to say, what's the next best decision in front of me? When you do these things over time, you end up in a radically different place. So I want to leave it here. I hope you have the best New Year's ever, and that January 1st comes around and you think, I can do this, but in an entirely different capacity. If you love this episode, I would love if you give me a comment, what resonated with you, screenshot this episode, share it on social, tag me, Rentea MD, Matthaerentea MD, all one word. Tag me on social, tell me how it was impactful. I'd love to hear from you. Hope you have an amazing New Year's, and we will talk in the new year, my friend. That marks the end of today's episode. But if you're newer to the podcast, I want to tell you about something that we have, and it's a free podcast roadmap. So this is perfect for any of you that are listening where you want to be directed to very specific episodes. So let's say that you are just starting out and you want to know, what should I do right when I start on the medications? Or you're experiencing certain side effects on the GLP-1s, or you want to know what to do if you're in a plateau, or if emotional eating is taking over, or if hunger levels are high. So we have many different categories of episodes that we've talked about, because there's a lot at this point. So if you want to be able to navigate that very easily, we have it broken down by category, and also the episodes that are there, and we hyperlink to everything. So you can just click on it and find the episode, easy peasy. If you want that, you can go to renteaclinic.com/podcast roadmap. We'll have it linked right here underneath the show notes where you're listening. And you can go ahead and get that free resource so that it makes it easy for you to navigate, because I know that it's really hard when someone has an established podcast. I am such a podcast fiend. I'm listening to podcasts all day long. And when I find one that I love, but there's a lot that are out there, I am so lost. So I hope that you enjoy this free podcast roadmap. Again, the link to get to that is going to be renteaclinic.com/podcast roadmap. I hope this is helpful, and let me know if you have any questions.